Hey, oh my God, this is so awkward for me, but I figured I'd do something that would put me more out of my comfort zone. Um, I obviously am making the video. So for the first question for A, I'm just kind of gonna go down what you wanted us to talk about. So, um, my personality results, I got ESFP. Um, Extrovert, sensing, feeling, and perceiving. The extrovert was 3%, sensing was 16, the feeling was 31, and the perceiving was 20. I thought this was just kind of cool just because you usually hear people say like I'm outgoing, like I'm shy, I'm I don't know, I don't like people. I like people. So people usually like regulate themselves to just being like one certain thing, and I think this was kind of cool that it broke everything up because like if someone was like, oh, like describe your personality, I would say like, oh, I'm like outgoing, but like I would just stop at that, like I wouldn't say anything else. um so I thought that that was kind of cool how it just mixed everything in instead of just telling people just like one thing that they are. um so I think that my strengths in this, it says I'm an extrovert, and my weaknesses are sensing. Um, I don't know. I kind of don't really like agree. I mean, of course, it was just like a 60 question like thing, so I don't really know if I agree with it totally. My sensing, I kind of agree with. The extrovert part, not so much. Just because I feel like I don't know. I think I'm more like an extrovert than an introvert most of the time. Not all the time, but definitely most of the time. So that was a little off for me, but that's okay. Um, so for B, it's a description of the roles you're most comfortable with in the school setting. Definitely more comfortable with being someone who is honestly either co-teaching. It's probably more my thing, but I'm fine if I have to like get in front of the class and like teach a lesson by myself. Like that's fine too. Um, when I am done with school, I do want to do consultative teaching for special ed, so that is more of me kind of being on the co-teaching side. So I think that that's probably more for me. I don't really necessarily always like to take the lead because it's like a lot of pressure. I don't really do well with pressure and like stress and like anxiety and all that kind of stuff. So I would definitely rather be someone who is a little bit behind the scenes, but if I need to like come out and like be in the front, that's okay too. I don't really mind that. Let's see, a short description of the people with personality types with whom you work best with. I definitely work best with someone who is a nurturer, a doer, and a thinker. And I would say nurturer because I'm definitely someone who is a little bit on the emotional side. I'm not really like, I don't no, I do take things seriously, but I definitely do things more so with emotion instead of being like, I have to do this, I have to do that, I have to do this. Like, so I definitely like think more into things and like do different scenarios in my head. So a nurturer is good because I think that that's someone who's always just like, are you like making like reassurance that we're all gonna like do well on this, we're all gonna, present or do a great lesson or project or whatever that is. Thinker because let's be honest, we all need someone. Sometimes our brains kind of shut down, and we need someone who can give us the extra, advice or extra help. Or sometimes you're that person. Sometimes it's nice to have someone like that if you're having a bad day, an off day where you like your brain's just not functioning. That's always good to have someone who's on their toes. And the doer because deadlines are important. You have to get things done. We have to work collectively as a group to get things done. So I think it's really important to have someone on your team who is like, okay, like this is when we're gonna finish this. Have mentioned not this class. I don't think I wrote about that, but in another class I did say that sometimes I'm a little bit unorganized. So I think that having someone who's there to say like, hey, like make sure we're doing this and make sure we're doing that. It's just like a helpful tool. It's always, like I said, I like working in groups. I think it's good just to feed off of other people. So if I had to pick, those were the people that I would definitely like choose to be in a group with. Um, People who I probably have a more difficult time with are people who are assertive, which would be like the executive. Um, to me, someone who is like assertive is kind of just like a know-it-all. Doesn't really like leave room open for other people to talk, which I don't think is fair. I think that if we're all gonna work together, like we all should have a say in what we do. So I don't really get along with because to me, the assertive people come off as like, I'm the boss, I'm in charge, I know what I'm doing, like, none of you know what's going on. And I just don't think that that's like the best way to handle a group situation. Let's see, an analysis of my escape room. I honestly loved the escape room. That was my first time doing one, and I was so lucky to have you in our group. Um, it was just a lot of fun. I thought it was a really good team building exercise, and like I would even recommend this to like people who work in like corporate America, like I don't know, the food industry, like any like group setting, like I don't know, like music groups, like anybody who needs to do like a team building exercise. I think that that is a really good um, strategy and tool that we got to do is to work together as a group. Um, I think that the strategies that we used of like working together, like to get out of the room at the best time was really good, and like we really did have to like work together. Like there was no way we were getting out of there if like we all were just like all over the place. Like at one time I remember we spent quite a bit of time in one room, but we were like some people were outside, some people were inside of the other room. We were like trying to match the numbers to make sure that we got out on time, and I think that was probably one of like the best parts was just working together. A short description of the areas that you could improve on. Okay, so I definitely have a tendency to not really like speak up when I guess not even when I'm supposed to, but just like in general, like I kind of will just like wait um, and just see what other people are thinking first because I kind of have that fear of like, oh my God, if I say something, am I gonna sound stupid? And everyone looks at me like, what is this girl talking about? So I tend to like hold back what I'm thinking before I make an announcement of what I really want to say. And I think sometimes like we're all probably thinking the same thing. Like I don't want to say this because I don't want to sound like this. But then like eventually someone has to speak up. So I do think that speaking up for sure is something that I should work on. Just because, you know, sometimes like you're not wrong. Sometimes like I could have had an idea that would have actually worked out better than what we chose to do anyway. And so you never know. So take a chance, take a risk. Um, let's see. I think, oh, okay. Actually, I'm done. And I'm going to attach the references and the appendix down. And thanks for watching my YouTube video. I wish I knew how to do like cool edits, but I don't. So, okay. Bye.